Today, my guest will be the World Karate Federation President and the European Karate Federation President, Antonio Espinos. Sir, welcome to our show. My first question will be, on August 2016, karate was added to the sports program of Tokyo 2020. Can you tell us about the controversial road to karate becoming an Olympic sport, and what do you think about this development?
Well, it has been a very long quest, and it has been taking many years for us. Today it's very difficult to join the Olympic program for a new sport, but at the end karate is a universal sport, very well organized, and finally this has been recognized by the decision makers. And during many years, the Olympic Charter of the IOC was limiting the size of the Olympic program in 28 sports. So at the end, for a new sport joining the Olympic program, as they were already 28, one of them, of the 28, had to go out for another one to come in, and this has proved along the years to be a very difficult thing to do, and this is why finally the magic number of 28 was unblocked, and this was allowing some new sports to come into the Olympic program.
Well, do you think karate will be in Paris 2014?
Well, this is something that we haven't been explained yet, the reasons why not including, or I would say more excluding karate from 2024. We think that it's a very unfair decision of Paris, because Paris did not propose karate. When karate is going to be a very successful sport in 2020 in Tokyo, and also karate is a very strong sport in France, and would be adding medals to the French team. So it's something that we still don't understand why this has happened, but we're not giving up. And it's not possible that such a unilateral decision is excluding karate and not guaranteeing the future of the Olympic karate. We will fight for this up to the end. We know it's very difficult, but we cannot accept that such a decision is endangering the future of karate into the Olympics.
Do you think the proposal of the OCOG is against the respect of the athletes?
Well, I think so, yes, I think so. And it has no sense, on the other side, that before the first Olympic appearance of karate in Tokyo, we are already excluded from the 2024 Olympic Games. So it has no sense. And if somebody would have been able to explain me, I would be ready to listen very carefully, but this has not happened yet.
Well, karatekas will try to do their best to earn their way to Tokyo in the coming weeks. They're going to Salzburg. How are the qualifications going?
Qualification period for Tokyo started in July 2018, and is going to end at the end of March of this year. So in a little more than 1 month is going to be over the qualification period. Then we will have the qualification tournament in Paris in the first week of May, and this will have concluded the qualification period. It has been a very long period and a very intense period for all the athletes, because all the Series A and all the Premier League events, additionally the continental championships of each continent and the World Senior Championships have been events that have been adding points to the standing of Tokyo. And so you can imagine, since July 2018, maybe we have been undergoing 20 events that have been adding points, and all of them were counting. So the athletes have been submitted to a very intensive period. But it has been a very successful period and a very selective period, because only the first 4 in the standing will qualify. You can imagine with the quality that we have today in the World Karate, how difficult it is to be between the first 4 athletes. But as I'm saying, the period is almost over, and we know more or less now, missing now Salzburg next week, and Rabat mid-March, and then Baku, the European Senior Championships, that will also count, but not add points, will replace Baku, the previous 2019 European Championship. So because only one Continental Championships counts within the qualification period. So it's almost over. And as I'm saying, we have a very good picture now that which is the situation now before the end of the qualification period, but still some points to play.
Well, what do you think of the Karate Turk and their success?
Well, Turkish karate, in general, has a very good level along the years, but always the teams or the national teams, it's up and down. It's sometimes you're on the top, sometimes you're not on the top. At the end, it not only depends from you, but also from the level of the others. And now it's become very competitive, and many new emerging countries are dedicating much more resources to the training and to the preparation of the teams, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to get medals. But I have to say that for Tokyo, Turkish karate, I wouldn't find a more successful team than the Turkish karate in the world. And now, for example, I was saying before about the athletes that will qualify now very soon, the four first athletes in the standing, and from the 8 events, 8 medals or 8 categories that we have for Tokyo, Turkey has today, if the qualification period would finish today, 5 of the 8. It is the country that has more athletes qualified by standing, which is something outstanding. That from 5 of the 8 categories, you have 1 Turkish athlete. And at the end, I've been always saying that what is difficult in the selection process, because we only have 80 athletes in total, is to qualify for Tokyo. Because once you are in Tokyo, then you have for each 10 athletes, which is 1 category, you have 1 gold medal, 1 silver medal, and 2 bronze medals. So we have 4 medals. You have 40% of possibilities to get a medal, which is a good probability. So at the end, imagine that you, Turkey, are going with 5 athletes to Tokyo. You have a big possibility of getting medals. So I'm, without any doubt, objectively speaking, with 5 athletes today, as per the standing, qualified for Tokyo, I wouldn't be able to say that Turkey is very successful.
Well, what are your future plans as the World Karate Federation for further expansion and recognition?
Well, we continue working in making our organization better and better. We have been progressing very much in the last years, but we understand that we cannot stay without moving. And for example, for 2021, we have already planned the restructuring of the Karate One activities. The Premier League, which is our top event of Karate One, will have a new format, more directed towards spectacularity and TV and so on. The format will change. Also, our World Championships are going to be improving. And in our social media, we have made a big progress that we intend to continue. We have today more than 1.2, 1.3 million supporters in the social media. So at the end, we will continue consolidating all the progress that we have been doing in the last years.
Can you tell us about the Olympic solidarity and its collaboration with national federations?
Well, the collaboration with national federations is a program that we have been having since a long time, that we are reinforcing as more resources we have, as more we can dedicate. And what I have to say is that we have a very strong collaboration with our national federation, but in terms of development programs, we are focusing mainly in the disadvantaged federations or countries under development. And at the end, if you see today what is the world picture of the countries, the disadvantaged federations are 90% in Africa. Not even in America. Some of them in Asia, and 90% in Africa. And this is where we are concentrating all our efforts for helping the federations that really need our support. Refereeing and technical seminars, normally. And also some support in material, in tatamis and protective equipment, donations, and this kind of things is where we are mainly supporting the federations. Turkey, for the reasons I was saying before and for the results in World Championships, etc. France is a very strong country. Iran is a very strong country. Spain, in some way, in Qatar, for example, not today in Comité, but in Qatar, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan. The scope of strong countries is much broader today than it was. I mean, it's not concentrating in a very few countries, but it's much broader. And if you see, for example, the medal table in World Championships and the number of countries from the relationship, the countries that get at least a medal, in relationship with the number of countries that you have is maybe 40% or something like this. So 40% of the countries get at least one medal, which is a very good sign of the balance that we have been able to achieve and of the progress of new countries that are joining the strong countries, or the countries that at least have a possibility to get a medal with their athletes. We have gender equality today, 50-50. Since a few years ago, or since many years ago, I would say. And karate is very attractive for all people. And this is one of the reasons of the universality of karate. It's very attractive for women, for men, for children, for people of a certain age, for old people, for everybody. And you can adapt karate to your possibilities. And I wouldn't be able to say that it's more attractive for men or for women. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about karate, and I think that Turkey can be very proud about its karatekas, and very hopeful about what's going to happen in Tokyo in the month of August.
People in Tokyo were divided on Friday as to whether Tokyo should proceed according to schedule with the 2020 Olympics and Paralympics amid the rising number of coronavirus cases in Japan and overseas.
いや、ちょっと無理じゃないかなと思いますね。
どうして無理だと思いますか？
やっぱり、これ以上感染が広がったら、もう本当に世界的問題になっちゃうし、もう日本人だけの問題じゃなくなっちゃいますからね。
Organizers have repeatedly said that the games set to run from July 24th to August 9th will go ahead. But as the rapid spread of the virus brings the sports world to a virtual standstill, fears are growing that the Olympics may be postponed or canceled.
今、東京ですとコロナウイルスが若干収まっている感じです。ですからこれからまだ日が経ちますともうちょっと収まってくるんじゃないかな。そうすると可能性はあると思いますね。
Some were more optimistic about the prospects of the games proceeding on schedule.
30% っていうのは本当に私が見たいなっていう希望だし、70% っていうのは今こうやって世界中で国外出ちゃいけないとか入ってきちゃいけないとかっていう兼ね合いがあるから 70% ぐらいは無理な方になるのかなって思ってますけど。
The Olympic flame arrived at Japan Air Self-Defense Forces Matsushima base on Friday, but no spectators were present for the ceremony.
イタリアとか中国で感染者が結構多いので、選手も感染しているかもしれないので、そういった人たちが日本に来てまた感染が広まってしまうと、収束しかけたのにまた広まってしまうと思うので、中止まではいかなくても延期っていうのがいいのかなっていうのは思います。
Even as government officials have reiterated that the games would go on, the deputy head of Japan's Olympic Committee, Kozo Tashima, tested positive for the coronavirus last Tuesday.
やっぱりこれまで、多分調整して頑張ってきた選手たちの人もいますし、やっぱり全然やらないっていうのもいろいろ影響が大きいのかなと思うので、やった方がいいのかな、延期でやった方がいいのかなと。A 15-year-old hearing-impaired Turkish wrestler İlkay Özer is aiming to get the gold medal in the upcoming Hearing-Impaired World Championship, which will be held in June in Turkey's Trabzon province. Özer started wrestling 2 years ago when he was only 13 years old, with the guidance of his teacher. During his childhood, he injured his leg while playing soccer, but fortunately, by starting wrestling, he overcame his condition and says he feels better than ever. İlhan Çıtlak is an Olympics and World Wrestling champion in hearing-impaired branch. Fascinated by Çıtlak's success, Özer started wrestling after taking him as a role model. Last year in August, Özer attended Turkey's hearing-impaired championship in Afyonkarahisar and won the golden medal. He was accepted in the Turkish national team right after.
I started wrestling 2 years ago in Ankara. I became Turkish champion in February. I have big goals for the World Championship. My training is going well, I'm ambitious and I love my flag. Hopefully, I will finish first and make my country proud.
The young athlete is now training in Turkey's Niğde for his upcoming World Championship.